Well, I am here at the Loves in Tipton, Indiana this morning. Sun's all in my eyes. I woke up and there was a couple of guys working on a 2012 Dodge. I believe it's 2012. We're doing a turbo actuator relearn on it. They're putting a turbo on it and we're going to relearn the actuator. I didn't know that the AUTEL would do that, but got it set up here. And got the AUTEL plugged in, and I didn't know it, but the actuator has got to come off to do the relearn. Go to turbo actuator pre-alignment, self-calibrate, and it comes up eventually. This function you through the steps required to replace the electronic actuator variable geometry turbo. Before continuing, please make sure that the coolant has been partially drained and the VG actuator has been removed from the turbocharger. The removal step is not completed before continuing. Failure of the actuator will occur. So he's got the actuator off, and then the turbocharger must be the turbocharged VG actuator must be removed from the turbocharger to perform this function. Okay, all right, here we go. Installed turbo actuator. The turbo actuator must be installed on the turbocharger before performing the next step. Incomplete installation will lead to failure of the calibration procedure. So now he is bolting the actuator back on the turbo. Actuator back on, we'll push the button and finish up this relearn, and hopefully that'll get them going. So it did pop up and say that the turbo actuator pre-aligned self-calibration completed. So anyway, we're hoping that's going to fix that issue, or got them set up on that. That's the first time I've ever done one on Dodge, so that was new to me, and maybe it'll help one of you guys out. I would have never thought you had to pull the actuator off, cycle, go through the first set of steps, and then put it back on. Coolant had to be partially drained and all that. And this is the AUTEL MK808 BT. Now, I haven't been over here in a long time at the Goshen yard, and we're looking for a 20-foot surveyor. A surveyor is pretty much this what's right in front of us right here, but the one we're getting is supposed to be a single axle. So I'm assuming it's going to be a little bitty dude, but I'm going to check the number on this just to make sure. Yeah, that's not that one, I don't think. I've never pulled a surveyor. I haven't been over here since shortly after I started, and I don't recall. I think I've only pulled one or two single axles, but like I said, 20-footer going where it's going. Today is Wednesday. I'm hoping we'll deliver this on Friday. I'm counting on delivering this on Friday. I need to hurry up and get back home. Say it was on row 5. Well, we're about out of campers on row 5. So this is the first one that I was looking at, and this is us right here. On the paperwork it says it's a single axle, and that's incorrect. There's mud all the way around it. That is alright. Walk around checking for damages. It looks good. Never stop exploring. Pretty cool looking little unit. All hooked up and ready to go. I did not put weight distribution back on because I don't feel like I need it. And if I do need it, I will stop putting it on at that time. The two lights up on top there are not working. And I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. All the rest of the lights are working. Everything else is working great. But they're working. You just can't hardly see them burning. And as long as they're burning, that's all I'm real worried about. So it is downright chilly this morning here in Effingham, Illinois. I got here last night. I was wanting to go to Chasers and get something to eat, and it didn't disappoint. Really good. Been sitting here thinking on something. If I head on down toward Texas, I can get fuel for $3.04 a gallon, I think it is, at the TA Express in Carthage, Texas. Yeah, and if I get it here, it's $3.40 a gallon. That's about a $20 difference in 60 gallons. That's all it'll take me to get to Carthage. And if I buy it here, and then buy it again in Carthage, well, that's my last 2 fuel stops on this trip until I get headed home. And to me, it's not worth. I can go out a route a little ways and get it cheaper at different places, but I would rather buy it here, not have to worry about the rest of the day. Get it again tonight or in the morning in Carthage and be done with it. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna pull on around here to get fuel. Like I say, it's about a $20 difference, but I'm gonna just chalk that $20 up to a convenience fee of not having to go out a route and stop again a little bit later on. So I've been getting right around 10 miles a gallon with this one, 10 to 12. So that's good. That's one thing I can say about this little trailer. That is a very good pulling little trailer. Not sure about how it's put together. So the light's not working, kind of aggravated about that. And yeah, the keys don't really want to fit the locks very good. But as far as pulling it down the road, excellent pulling little trailer. So I'm back here getting fuel. I'm looking for 60 gallons to get me to the next stop. Oh, right there on that. I should probably put some sleeves on because it's chilly out there. Well, we got our fuel. Barely got 60 gallons of fuel, and I was already full in the truck tank. I went ahead and re-topped off with diesel exhaust fluid, and that should be plenty to get us to Carthage, Texas. I haven't been down this way. The second load back, I went to Katy, Texas, and that was the first time I have been that way in a pretty good while. Another thing I want to touch on is on the lights on the camper that are not working, the top 2 corner lights back here. I've kind of took a gamble on those that whenever I started moving, they would start working. You shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. But the majority of the trip's going to be around during the day, and I'll let them know about it whenever I deliver it. But if it's daytime, it could slip my mind. But yeah, that's not good. That's kind of a big no-no. But because as far as getting DOT, like if you get a DOT inspection, that's a ticket, and I know that. And I want you guys to know that, because I know some of you do, and some of you wouldn't think twice about it. So that's why I wanted to make sure and put that in there. I have seen it before where they'll do that, but normally it's if all the lights aren't working. You bounce it around a little bit and they'll start working. But I kind of knew better. I just, like I said, had high hopes, and I guess I just wasn't in the mood to deal with it, which is not good. I should have called them and told them, or at least mess with it myself and see if I could get them working. But with it being those top 2 corner lights, I'd hope they would pop on. It might be a loose ground or a loose connection somewhere. But when I first woke up this morning, apparently someone had an oil leak in the parking lot, and I parked right over top of it. I did my pre-trip, and I checked my oil, checked transmission fluid and all that stuff, and everything in this truck was topped off. It was perfect. It was dark, and it's time for oil change and a service. But as far as being in good shape. It was in good shape. All the fluids were full. So that wasn't me, but it had me nervous. Definitely had me nervous. So when you get up in the mornings, always make sure and check under the truck. That's probably one of the first things I do as far as a pre-trip goes, is look under the truck to make sure there's no fluids on the ground. Because if there is, then you know you got something leaking. And then pop the hood and look, make sure you don't see anything out of place. Check oil and all that stuff. Just kind of check everything. I always wanted to do a video on pre-trip inspection, but I was hoping to find a big truck and go over the pre-trip on a big truck and compare the differences to the big truck and the pickup. I always thought that would be a good video. Well, made it down to Benton, Arkansas. We're kind of out of place there, don't it? Benton, Arkansas. Here's restaurant back there behind me. Yeah, woke up this morning in Illinois, spitting snow, and figured I'd get down south a little bit and warm up. 38 degrees or 39 degrees in Illinois. Googled Dallas, 38 degrees. I'll wind up having to put some sleeves on. Anyway, this is a pretty decent little restaurant. It's big. There's only like 2 people in there, but she said it was because of the holidays. Said they usually stay packed, but I've been in there quite a few times over the years, and it's always been pretty good. Usually get some parking out here in the parking lot, but it's paid parking, so if I remember right, it was pretty much all paid parking. But anyway, I guess we'll get back on the road and try to make it to, I think I'm trying to make Carthage tonight, and I think that's what I'm looking for. Well, wonder if he's going the same place we are. New day. Today is Friday the 29th. We're down here on 77, down between Houston and Corpus Christi, and about 20 miles from Corpus Christi actually. And shows I'll be to my delivery at 1:15 in the evening. They received a 4. That works out good. And I haven't been out there here in a long time. Kind of enjoying the ride, but if I had to do over again, I wouldn't have took this load. I have not been feeling very good. I feel fine. I'm just extremely exhausted. It seems like ever since I got back from that last Florida trip, I have just been terribly exhausted. I made it down around Houston last night. Got up this morning, got on down here. Like I say, we're been step on Interstate 37. I think the last time I was down here, this is 77 all the way down. But been to get on 37 and get delivered here in a little bit, and I get started making my way home. I gotta get back to the house because next week I have to do my DOT physical. I have to do my DOT inspection, my annual inspection on the truck. I have to service the truck and get the oil changed and all that stuff, and I want to crawl around under it and make sure that I don't have anything out of place from where I did the engine swap. I've looked at it a couple of times, and I want to do a really thorough look over on it. Got in here to Ron Hoover, and that didn't take long at all. No sooner than I got here, there was 2 other guys. I got them checked in. Came back, got me checked in, and I am still pretty amazed with how this little trailer pulled. I didn't like that the locks were so hard to lock and unlock, and I didn't like that the 2 lights on top up there didn't work. But other than that, it pulled excellent. So, best I can tell, we're all done. He went in to make me a copy of some paperwork, and now we'll get headed on back toward the house.